Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. So today I'm going to touch on a very exciting project again in the River Valley area, in the Great World area. And this project is Zyon Grand. I think you all must have heard about, wow, there are so many projects already launched, like River Green, Promenade Peak, and now Zyon Grand. And today I'll be walking you through on what is the potential of this project and what is the floor plan that, in my opinion, which is the best layout, for one bedroom all the way to penthouse. So I think for the next few months, even until next year, you will start to see, there will be more and more projects coming up in this area as well. So come, let's proceed. So some disclaimer here. The information that I'll be presenting in this video is solely just for your reference. Alright, Zyon Grand is basically another project by CDL, a very well-known developer in Singapore. So after the successful launch of River Green and Promenade Peak, right, which later I will touch on my own analysis on what are the sizes for Zyon Grand compared to River Green and Promenade Peak. Okay, what is the difference and what is the benefit that you can get? Okay, if let's say you are really looking into this project. Okay, so some quick facts about Zyon Grand. So this project is by CDL and it has two blocks of 62 story high. So it's as high as tall as Promenade Peak. But what is really different compared to Promenade Peak is that Zyon Grand has one more component, which is service apartment. So which later I'll be touching on, how can having a service apartment help you in your rental. And the total number of units is about 706. In terms of the bedroom type, the smallest they have 1 plus study, okay, all the way to penthouse, right? So you expect 1 plus study, they have 2 bed, 1 bath, 2 bed, 2 bath, 3 bedder and so on. But what I want to emphasize is that you'll realize that the developer has actually crafted the size of the unit very cleverly. So the next thing I'll be touching on the Zyon Grand, what are the quick facts about Zyon Grand, is that Zyon Grand is actually located at District 3. Total is 62 story high, so you can expect that Zyon Grand is as tall as Promenade Peak. But what is really different is that Zyon Grand has something that Promenade Peak doesn't have, which is service apartment. So later on I'll be touching on how does having a service apartment in your condo can help in your rental. Total number of units, 706 units, I would say is quite a good size development. And what do I mean by a good size development? Which I think that any development that is at least 400 units and above, I would say is quite a good size. Anything below is probably a medium size or a smaller size condominium. In terms of the unit mix, you can actually see that they have smallest is 1 plus study all the way to 5 bedroom penthouse. In terms of the size, I would say CDL has actually crafted very cleverly in terms of the type of buyers that will be looking into this area. So what do I mean by that? So if you see, right, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, if I were to divide this part, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, let me ask you, right, who are the usual buyers out there? They are usually investor, right? So for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, for investor, usually they want to buy as cheap as possible, right? So the size have to keep, not something that is too small, but something that is reasonable also. The most important thing is quantum. Okay, so you can see that there are 1 plus study, 474 square feet, which is in line with a lot of 1 bedroom out there in the market in terms of size. And 2 bed, 1 bath is about 538 square feet. And they have all the way up to 2 plus study. Okay, later on I will walk through in detail on the floor plan, okay, and recommend which are the best layout, if let's say you are looking at the different bedroom type. And you can see that for 3 bedroom, the developer also very clever, right? For 3 bedroom, they actually have something that we call 3 bedroom compact, which is about 818 square feet, 800 plus square feet. So this will be very suitable for HDB upgraders who really want to come into River Valley area, come into the Great World area, and they are afraid of the price tag. And by having a very compact size of 3 bedroom, it will be, it will be very suitable for their wallets to come into these areas too, right? And also the developer also emphasize on another group of buyer who are looking at a bigger 3 bedroom, and these are usually the condo upgraders, right? So they may be staying in a condo, example in other district, maybe Ang Mo Kio or maybe Bishan, right? So if they moved and they wanted to move into Great World area, and today they are looking at something 3 bedroom, the size must be at least decent. So you can see that the developer is also targeting this group of buyer, right? And of course, the 4 bedroom wise, the 4 and 5 bedroom, as you can see. The 4 bedroom all comes with private lift, including the 5 bedroom, right? So this, the 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom, they also, focus on those luxury buyers who are really looking into the River Valley area or who are already in the River Valley area, right? And they want to buy something that is brand new today, right? So all these buyers who are looking at the luxury market, private lift is something that is very important to them. Privacy is something that is very important, right? So you can actually see that Zyon Grand is a product that the developer has cleverly designed to suit all kind of buyer, right? So 1 and 2 bedroom, they design for investors, right? They keep the quantum low but keeping the size a little bit smaller. 3 and 4 bedroom, they also design for people who really want to buy into this area, for the HDB upgraders and also for the condo upgraders, right? So you can see it's a product that is suitable for everybody. So in terms of the location, in case you still don't know where is Zyon Grand, let me walk you through. So I will go to the most prominent one, which is the Great World MRT station, right? So next to Great World MRT is the Great World itself, right? The Great World Mall. If you have been following the market recently, you must have heard about River Green already. River Green is located somewhere here, right? It's a long piece of land, and River Green is by Wing Tai, right? So recently, River Green also did very well, on their first day of launch. If I remember correctly, they sold about probably 80%. And Promenade Peak is actually very close to Great World MRT as well, which is here, this plot of land, and below is actually Zyon Grand. Okay, this plot is Promenade Peak, and here is Zyon Grand, right? This plot. So you can actually see Zyon Grand is just next to Promenade Peak only. So that's why both development you will expect to see a 62-story building, right? And Zyon Grand will be something that is very, very iconic. Okay, if you know the area well. So if you see Zyon Grand, let me draw for you. Zyon Grand is here, this piece of land. So it's really very close to MRT station. It's actually a short walk to Havelock MRT. If you see in terms of the where Zyon Grand is located, you can actually see that it is actually located along this Havelock Avenue, this road, and also Kim Seng Road. So you can actually imagine next time, for those buyers who are coming down to the city and they are coming from the Great World, they exit from the expressway, they have to come in from the Havelock Road. Okay, and they will definitely see this very iconic Zyon Grand building. It will be very, very prominent. And why do I say having a very prominent and very visible building is very important? Actually, have you noticed that when you are driving around, right, and when you drive past a very tall and very huge condo, you will tend to ask, hey, actually what is this development? It looks very nice. Then you will start to go and Google, then you will know, right? So it's the same effect one, right? So next time the buyer who actually drive past this area, they will not miss Zyon Grand. So Zyon Grand will become an icon already, right? So what is the perks of being visible to a lot of people is that become a very mainstream condo. And by being a very mainstream condo means what? Means most buyers, if they really want to buy into this area, am I right to say that most buyers, they will definitely search for a condo that they can remember of, right? And what are the condos that they can remember of are usually the mainstream condo. So that is the importance of really buying into a mainstream condo, and Zyon Grand will be very, very iconic. Okay, so next I go to the site plan of Zyon Grand. So Zyon Grand in total, they have 3 towers, but only 2 towers are residential block, which is block 3 and block 5, and they have 1 tower of service apartment. I remember it's about 30 over story. So the service apartment is not my focus lah. So you can see that what I can see here is that the developer actually have put in a tennis court, and also this is a 50-meter lap pool lah. So you can actually see. So they have full condo facility for you, right? And what is really different for Zyon Grand compared to Promenade Peak is that you can find that Promenade Peak, in terms of their bigger 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom, they are all starting at level 44 onwards. So 44 to 60 to 62 story, right? So in terms of the price, it will be very high for Promenade Peak because it is starting at a very high level, right? But for Zyon Grand, you can expect to find a 3-bedroom, bigger type from level 2 all the way up to 62. Right, so you can see that, for example, right, I can look at maybe stack 7 and stack 2. These are my bigger 3-bedroom, 1,000 over square feet. They are located, so it's one whole tower, right? In terms of the price point, it will be quite attractive for people who really want to buy into this area but want to keep the quantum affordable. Next, I move on. I want to touch on the facade of Zyon Grand. It's really something that is very iconic. And what do I mean by very iconic is that if today I ask you, right, what is the most iconic building in Singapore already? It's Marina Bay Sands, right? So everybody will know Marina Bay Sands one. And because it is so iconic. If you go and check the rate of Marina Bay Sands, one night stay can be $1,000 over, where some of the people, they can actually get a cheaper options at the surrounding hotel. That is the importance of being iconic. So if you see the facade, you can actually see that in terms of their facade, right, it's actually a bit wavy one. So you can see that the developer actually created a very wavy facade, right? So it will be very, very unique. And one concern for most buyers is that, wow, if the developer create a very wavy facade, which means that my unit, in terms of the layout, I'll have a lot of very wavy corner. And the developer, they know that, right? They know that a lot of buyers, they don't like very odd shaped layout. So the developer has actually very clever to create a very squarish layout. Then at the boundary, they create the wave. So in terms of the layout, it is still all squarish one. You will not get any odd shaped layout. So I think the developer in this aspect has done a very clever thought into it. So one very important question is that, wow, you have seen River Green, you have seen Promenade Peak, and now Zyon Grand, right? So is there an oversupply issue in River Valley area? Especially if, let's say, you're looking at a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom for investment. So I actually did some compilation on the total number of units in this area for new launches. So you can actually see that if I were to add up, recently, the recent launch is River Green, Promenade Peak. Both of these developments, they actually launched on the same day. And also now Zyon Grand is 706 units. I have my upcoming launch, likely might be next year already. You will see River Modern by Guaco Land, and also River Valley Passer C. It's about 470 units. So all this in total, I will get about 2,800 of units in this area. So 2,800 units, if you have heard about Treasure at Tampines, is probably very close to the size of Treasure at Tampines already. But today, Treasure at Tampines, they are performing extremely well. So the key question is that, right, having so many units for launch, how can it actually benefit you, right, as a buyer? So you can actually imagine that, I would say that developer, they are also human. If they see so many condos launching in this area, the key question is that, do they dare to price high or not? So if they don't dare to price high, then there must have some competition to actually let them feel that, wow, actually there is competition here. Our pricing wise have to be reasonable. And as a buyer, right, if I pull out River Green and Promenade Peak, you can actually see that both development actually launched on the 2nd of August, launched on the same day. But for Promenade Peak, they are 1+ study starting from about 1.417. River Green can get a 2-bed, 1-bath at 1.455. So it's only for 37,400 buyers can get a 2-bedroom in River Green. Okay, and all this is due to what? It's due to competition. Imagine if, let's say, both development don't launch on the same day, they launch maybe on a separate period. Honestly, I don't think the developer will give the buyer such a good advantage. So that is the benefit for most buyers they will get. If, let's say, there is competition in the area, it makes your entry price very sensible. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to touch on is that, does having service apartment help to bring up the rental rate? Because if you know, River Green and Promenade Peak, they do not have service apartment. Only Zyon Grand have it. So if I were to pull out another comparable development in the same area, I actually use Riviera. Riviera is also very close to Great World, and Riviera, they have a service apartment within the development itself. If I were to pull out their studio unit for Riviera, it's 258 square feet. I checked for the month of November, if someone were to rent for the whole month, it's about 7,700, and this is excluding tax and fee. So if you include tax, if you include GST and all that, it will cross 8,000 plus already for 1 month. And they also have another 1-bedroom, which is 430 square feet. The price is also about the same, right? It's about 8,000 plus for 1 month. And if you see Riviera, if you look at what about their rental? Their rental for their 1-bedroom is averagely 5,200. Okay, can go up to 6,000. And if I use another development in the area that don't have service apartment, which is Well Hill Residences, is 4,200 on average for their 1-bedroom also. So you can see the difference in rental is about $800 a month, which is 9,600 a year, which is coming to 10,000 a year already. Can actually see that by having a service apartment in your development, it will actually help to push up the rental. So you can actually see that for most tourists, if they come to Singapore, right? So we always have, for short-term stay, we always have 3 categories. Okay, we always have hotel, we have service apartment, and we have the condo, right? So we all know that for tourists, if they come to Singapore, what is the type of property they will rent? They will rent hotel mah. So usually hotel is the most expensive one lah. And if they really want something that that comes with a kitchen and all that, they will rent a service apartment, and service apartment minimum 7 days mah. And if let's say they go back already and they want to come to Singapore to work long term, imagine what is the area that they will usually look out for. They will usually look out for those areas that they have stayed before one. You ask yourself, even if you go to overseas for a short work trip, maybe you go to Australia, right? If you really want to go there and work for a longer term, you will usually tend to look for the area that you have lived before mah, right? So it's the same thing for tourists. Imagine if let's say they want to look for the same area, which condo will they go to? I think it's very obvious that they will go to Zyon Grand and they will rent a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom above. And this is what is happening in Riviera also, that we can actually see that the rental amount is obviously $800 higher than Irwell Hill that doesn't have a service apartment, right? So this actually has a very big benefit in helping you to push up the rental. Next one, so if you look at the next question is that, right, if you look at Zyon Grand, River Green and Promenade Peak, right, what are the sizes compared to all these projects? If I were to pull up, I actually do a breakdown on the 1 bedroom all the way to the 5 bedroom to let you see clearly what are the size differences. So you can see that for 1 bedroom wise, Promenade Peak and Zyon Grand, they don't have a 1 bedroom, but for 1 plus study, all the 3 development they will have. So one very important thing is that, right, that I want to emphasize is that for River Green, what is their benefit to most buyers? Or what is the developer pricing strategy? So the next thing that we are going to look at is that, how are the size of Zyon Grand compared to River Green and Promenade Peak. So I actually did a breakdown of the sizes to let you have a look from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom. So one very big advantage, if you look at River Green, right, in terms of their developer pricing strategy, it's very obvious that River Green, they emphasize on quantum. For Promenade Peak, they emphasize on PSF because 62 story high. So you can actually expect the top story. I have seen Promenade Peak, the top story transacted about 3,005, close to 3,006. The level 2 one transacted at about 2,006, thereabout. So you can see the differences. It can be 800 per square foot difference because it's 62 story, right? So that's why Promenade Peak, for buyers, in terms of the benefit, is actually the developer emphasize on the per square foot. A buyer can buy a lower per square foot at Promenade Peak, but buyer can buy a cheaper price range in River Green because the sizes are generally smaller. Okay, and for Zyon Grand, I would say it's a mixture for both River Green and Promenade Peak. They actually designed something that is the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Their sizes, they kept it small, comparable to River Green and Promenade Peak. And their 3 bedroom, they make it bigger for people who are really buying the area for own stay. And yet they are 62 story high. So you can actually imagine that the top floor 3,006, the bottom floor maybe can be 2,007. I expect about 2,007 plus. So that's why you can see that, for buyers can enjoy the per square foot by having a lower per square foot and also keeping the quantum affordable. So that's why Zyon Grand is something that is very special. Okay, for the 1 bedroom, if you look at in terms of the size, Zyon Grand 474 square feet, which is very close to River Green and Promenade Peak, right? For their 2 bedroom, we can see that Promenade Peak don't have a 2 bed 1 bath. Zyon Grand is 538 square feet. Also, the very similar in size for River Green, 2 bed 2 bath 646 square feet. Also very close. Zyon Grand and their 2 plus study is 721 square feet. So you can actually see that Zyon Grand, their 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom sizes are very close to River Green and Promenade Peak. Moving on, their 3 bedroom, you can see that their 3 bedroom compact is 818 to 861 and River Green is 786. So slightly bigger. And one thing to emphasize is that Zyon Grand is harmonization project, which means the total size doesn't include aircon latch and also high ceiling. Right, so 818 square feet is all walkable space. It doesn't include aircon latch. In terms of their 3 bedroom study is 1055 to 1076 for Zyon Grand, which is again very close to Promenade Peak. But Promenade Peak 1033 to 1195 square feet, they don't have a 3 plus study. And 4 bedroom, Zyon Grand is 1421, right? Which is again very similar in size. It's the same size as Promenade Peak. And River Green, of course, the developer pricing strategy is to keeping the quantum affordable. So that's why you don't see any units in River Green crossing 1,000 square feet in terms of size. Then their 4 plus study is 1615. So you can actually see that the developer really created something, even for the 4 bedroom, something that is very big in size that you cannot even find in Promenade Peak. And Zyon Grand is the only project that has the 4 plus study. And their 5 bedroom is 1819 square feet to 2756, and the 2756 is the penthouse unit already. So as you can see, the size for Zyon Grand is a mixture of 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, very small in size. Those 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, that usually most buyers buy for own stay, they make it until very big. So it will be very suitable for a lot of buyers out there. Then in terms of the per square foot, so I actually pull out the transacted means sold accepted price by buyer. So you can actually see that River Green, their lowest per square foot is 2,773 to the top floor is 3,577 and Promenade Peak is 2,688. So it's 2,688 per square foot at level 2. When you go up to level 62, it actually go up to 3,000, very close to 3,500 already per square foot. So you can actually see that the price difference between River Green and Promenade Peak in terms of PSF is roughly about 100 per square foot difference, right? So this is what I mean by Promenade Peak. For most buyers, the developer focus on a lower per square foot. But for Zyon Grand, my guess is about 2,748 based on my calculation on the land price. My calculation is that their lowest per square foot will be slightly higher than Promenade Peak. I don't think it will be in the range of 2.6, it might be in the range of 2.7. Why? Because the developer have service apartment to build. Okay, and service apartment is something that they cannot sell mah. So that's why in terms of their profit wise, they maybe need to park to the residential side. This is maybe, right? This is my own guess. And the top floor, maybe it can go up to 3.6. Now I will go into the floor plan analysis. Okay, so the next thing I go into the one bedroom. One bedroom, the developer only have one type of layout, which is 474 square feet. So 474 square feet, from what I see is that it's actually pretty standard layout. I am getting an open concept kitchen coming from the main door. Then I have my study here. I have my master bedroom, I have a master bath, and one thing to know is that their 1+ study doesn't come with a balcony. So no balcony. In terms of the where is it located, to orientate you a bit, the Great World City is this direction, and opposite Havelock Road is the Holiday Inn. If you know the area well, you know Holiday Inn Hotel and the one bedroom is actually facing towards the Great World side, the Great World City side, and I only have one stack. And the main entrance to the condo is via Kim Sing Road, so you're coming from here. Alright, so for one bedroom, pretty standard, is one tower of 62 story of one bedroom. Next, a two bedroom. Two bedroom, I have 2 bed 1 bath and 2 bed 2 bath. 2 bed 1 bath, 538 square feet, also one type. So you can actually see that you will still be getting an open concept kitchen when you're coming from the main door, and you have a living dining, and it's a dumbbell layout for master bedroom and bedroom 2. Okay, and again, no balcony. So you can actually see that your internal layout is actually very squarish, and the developer, remember I told you that Zyon Grand actually created like a wavy kind of facade. So you can actually see that the wavy is actually created outside of your layout. Okay, so this is actually something that is very cleverly thought of. 2 bed 2 bath, 646 square feet, also open concept kitchen. I am seeing a more traditional layout already. Okay, and 2 bed 2 bath, you are getting a balcony, and it's a more traditional layout where you go in from the walkway, you go into your bedroom 2 and your master bedroom and master bath. Okay, so it's quite standard there, and their 2+ study is 721 square feet. You're coming from the main door. You have a slightly tucked-in kitchen. So if you really want to make it enclosed, right? If you really want this part, if you want, you can actually build a glass door, a glass sliding door to enclose your kitchen. So a 2+ study, you have a tucked-in kitchen, which you can actually make it enclosed. And you have a study, and you have a bedroom 2 and master bath as a dumbbell layout. Okay, and of course you have a balcony. And of course all the 2 bedroom, because they are tucked in the middle, and you expect that the bathroom doesn't come with a window, right? But you'll be using a mechanical ventilator. Alright, so my top choice, if let's say today you're looking at a 2 bedroom, my top choice would be a 2 bed 2 bath, 646 square feet. And I feel that why I never recommend a 2+1 is that because most of the buyers who are buying a 2 bedroom are usually investors, right? And for investors, if I were to do a calculation on the price for 2 bed 2 bath and 2+ study, in terms of the size, you can actually see that 646 square feet versus 721 square feet, which is a 2+ study. The size difference is about 75 square feet. I think that the average per square foot that will hit for Zyon Grand maybe about 3,000, right? Because we have already seen Promenade Peak already, their average per square foot is about 3,000 already. Okay, and I will get about 225. Okay, so again, no right, no wrong. Whether or not you will pay 225,000 for a study or not is really up to you. But for me, I feel that it is something that 225,000 is quite a lot, which is something that I feel that, you know, maybe I won't pay. So that is the reason why my 2 bed 2 bath will be my top choice layout for a 2 bedroom. Okay, because you're still getting a good sized kitchen and one less study. Of course, no doubt that 2+ study, the developer actually giving you a tuck-in kitchen. So whether 225,000, is it worth it or not to get a study and a tuck-in kitchen? That one I leave it entirely to you. Next, I will be moving on to a 3 bedroom. First, starting off with a 3 bedroom compact. 3 bedroom compact is 818 square feet and 861 square feet for their 3 bedroom deluxe. So for these two, I would say that for these two layout, the main differences is that this is the main entrance. You come in from here. I would say that the main differences is the 818 square feet, you are getting a open concept kitchen. Compared to 861 square feet, you are getting a tuck-in enclosed kitchen. So this is the main difference. Okay, living, dining, mostly the same. And of course, you are using a very traditional layout. And something to note is that their 3-bedroom deluxe 861 square feet, both bathroom have a window. For their common bath and their master bath, they actually have a window. 818 square feet, you'll be getting the common bath don't have window, but the master bath will have. So this is the main differences that I see in terms of the stack wise. So in terms of the stack, for their smaller 3-bedroom, only one stack. Stack 6 facing Great World. For their 861 square feet 3-bedroom deluxe, I have 2 stacks, stack 9 and stack 3. Okay, moving on, their 3 plus study. If let's say you're looking at the 3 plus study wise, smallest 1055 square feet and 1076 square feet. The main differences you can see is about 21 square feet difference, right? I can see that the main difference is that is at the foyer. So 1076 square feet, you will get a slightly longer foyer, which is about 21 square feet. And in terms of the kitchen, you are still getting an enclosed kitchen. And the living room, you're still getting a storeroom also. And you have a bedroom 3 of the same size. The living and study is together in a landscape layout. So what is so good about this layout that I want to emphasize is that you can see that the developer actually have built this study here, which if you really need it to be a study area, you can actually enclose this area, right, to be your study. If you really need a bigger dining space, you can actually put your dining, you can put it here. Then your living dining will be a landscape layout. And this area, if you really want, you can use it as your study also for this area. It can be a study, it can be a play corner for your kids, or you can actually build a cabinet to store your things also. So it can actually function as a multi-purpose. So the developer is actually quite well thought of in terms of this design and in terms of this layout. And of course, the bathroom, the master bath and bathroom 2 both will have a window lah. Moving on, so my top choice, I separate into 2, the 3-bedroom compact and 3 plus and the bigger 3-bedroom. So my top choice for a 3-bedroom layout, starting from a 3-bedroom compact, will be a 3-bedroom deluxe 861 square feet. Why I choose this layout is because firstly, you are getting a enclosed kitchen. And of course, the bathroom, you are getting a bathroom with window, and this is important. So this will be my top choice layout for a 3-bedroom compact. Then for the bigger type of 3-bedroom, my recommendation is the 3 plus study, 1055 square feet. Because why? Because I feel that in this area, when you go in to fill the space, especially in the living room, is actually very important. Okay, because a lot of buyers who are looking at this area, even the HDB upgraders, they are looking at space and size. Right, so can you imagine if you go into this unit, if you really don't use this as a study, my recommendation is that you can use this as your dining area if you really want. Then you can actually see that your living room will be very bright. So very immediately, the buyer go in can feel the space ready for this 3 plus study. And having an enclosed kitchen is what most buyers will like. And all the bedroom can fit at least a queen size bed. And a master, you can actually see that you can fit a king size bed. So my recommendation, if let's say today you're looking at a bigger 3-bedroom, my preferred choice for a bigger 3-bedroom will be a 3 plus study. Okay, so the next thing I'll go into a 4-bedroom. So 4-bedroom layout, all come with private lift, starting from 1421 square feet. So 1421 square feet versus 1518 square feet. The main differences from what I see is actually, firstly, I'll touch on the foyer first. You can actually see that the 1518 will have a slightly longer foyer. Then also another thing you can actually see that is the kitchen. The kitchen and the dry kitchen area. 1518 have a slightly larger dry kitchen area. This part is actually slightly larger compared to 1421. And also the utility, it seems to me, I don't have the size breakdown yet, but it seems to me that the utility for 1518 is slightly bigger. And the living room and dining, I don't have the wall-to-wall distance yet, but it seems to me is quite close. Then you can actually see that the junior master room, as you walk in, the junior master room for 1518 is also bigger. And the bedroom 3, bedroom 4 should be very similar. Master bedroom, your wardrobe for 1518 will be bigger also. And both layout comes with a walk-in wardrobe. Okay, it's just that 1518 have a slightly bigger wardrobe. And I think that's about it. And one very small differences is that you will notice that the master bath for 1518 square feet, the developer is actually giving his and her sink. So you all don't need to fight or 2 sink for you all to use and a bathtub. Alright, for 1421 square feet, it's a single sink. So these two layout, this is probably the major differences that I can see lah. In terms of the stack wise, for the 1421 square feet, it's actually at stack 8. This is facing the Holiday Inn, and also stack 1 is the 1521 square feet, which is the bigger 4-bedroom layout, and it spans from level 2 all the way to 42 story only. And what is on top is really they reserve for the 4+ study. So you can imagine 43 story onwards to 62 story, they actually reserve for the 4+ study and a penthouse unit. They have another type of layout which is called the 4-bedroom Supreme plus study. So you can actually see that it's the 1521 square feet layout plus study, right? So you are actually getting everything, the best of everything already. So you can see that the layout is very largely very similar to the 4-bedroom layout. What is really the main differences is that you are actually getting one more study. So this is actually the main differences. You are still getting a walk-in wardrobe, you are still getting a his and her sink. Here you are getting a bathtub, you have a dry kitchen here, you have a wet kitchen which is big enough. Basically it's the same as, it's very similar to 1521. Okay, it's just that with the addition of a study. So my recommendation, my top choice, if let's say you're looking at a 4-bedroom, my top choice will be a 1421 square feet. So because I feel that 1421 square feet actually take most of the needs for a 4-bedroom, and the size is also, you can also feel that it will be very spacious. So this will be my top choice unit. But if let's say even his and her sink is important to you, then you may want to look at the other type of layout, which is the 1518 square feet layout. Okay, if let's say his and her sink is important to you. Okay, and a bathtub. Next, I will go into a 5-bedroom. 5-bedroom, very straightforward. They only have one type, and the other two is actually penthouse. So 5-bedroom Supreme is 1819 square feet. You come in from the main door. You are getting very similar to what the 4-bedder are getting. You still get a utility, your wet kitchen, a dry kitchen. You have a private lift, which is here. You have a landscape living and dining area. You have a balcony that links to the bedroom 5, and you have a junior master room as well. You walk this way, you actually have a bedroom 3, bedroom 4, which can fit a queen size bed, and your master bedroom is extremely big. You have a very big walk-in wardrobe, and you are getting a his and her sink as well in the bathtub. So this is the 5-bedroom. In terms of stack wise, 5-bedroom is located at stack 1, level 44 to 61 story. So you can actually see that the level 2 to 43 will be the 4-bedroom, right? So it will be located on top. So you will actually get a very nice skyline view of Singapore. And I think the developer has actually placed the placement of the 5-bedroom unit at the top, which is the right choice. Okay, because most of the buyers who can afford a 5-bedroom today or a bigger type of 4-bedroom, they all want view. Okay, and the view is something that is very important. They don't like to buy lower floor. So that's why the developer know what is the buyer's needs and what is the buyer's demand, and the developer put the 5-bedroom Supreme at the very top. So this is something that I feel that not bad. Very well thought of. Okay, another last two layout will be the 2 penthouse unit. Okay, the penthouse is 2659 square feet and 2756 square feet. It's located at the top floor, 62 story high. And if you see the private lift is here, you come out, you will immediately greet with a very wide landscape living and dining. And the dining can fit a round table, right? I suspect can be 10 to 15 people. Shouldn't be any problem, right? Then they have a very big balcony, and basically you're getting a dry kitchen, a wet kitchen, a utility. Then as you walk in here, you actually have a very big master bedroom, really very big, and a walk-in wardrobe, right? So you can actually imagine that at the top floor, the floor plate is the developer actually used up the whole floor, right? So that's why the size and all that, it will be extremely big. And the other side, you have a bedroom 5, bedroom 4, you have a junior master as well. And the junior master comes with a walk-in wardrobe as well, right? And you have another bedroom, bedroom 3, okay? And you have a store. So you have 2 utility room, okay, for a 5-bedroom ultra penthouse. And this type of penthouse, I will tell you that it will attract those super wealthy buyers, okay, who really want to buy top of the world kind of unit. So that's why, and this ultra penthouse, we are seeing that not many condos they actually have it. You don't really have this kind of size in Promenade Peak. Of course, you don't have this size in River Green, right? So that's why it will be something that is very unique. And this kind of size, I think, I only see in a lot of condos like Marina Bay Residences, all those ultra penthouse. So the developer has actually created something that will attract all these luxury group of buyers. Okay, those ultra rich. Another type of 5-bedroom penthouse is 2756 square feet. Again, I would say that in terms of the size, you come in from the private lift lobby, which is here. You are also getting a very landscape living dining area. Okay, and you have a dry kitchen. Okay, you have a dry kitchen here. Okay, and you have a utility here. And as you walk here, you will be greeted in your master bedroom. You have an extremely big master bedroom and a walk-in wardrobe and a master bath, his and her sink, and a bathtub. And then you walk the other side, you actually have a store as well. You have a bedroom 3, bedroom 5, bedroom 4, and you have a junior master room with a walk-in wardrobe. So as you can see that these two layout, to be honest, is very identical, and they only have two. My top choice, if let's say you're looking at a 5-bedroom, would be 1819 square feet, and this is my top choice layout. So I think that's all that I have for Zyon Grand. Okay, if you have any question about Zyon Grand on on what is the best layout to pick, or what are the exit plan and all that, any questions on Zyon Grand, feel free to drop me a message. Alright, and then I will see you in my next video. Alright, bye.